All right, guys, on a bench, we have one of my, I'd have to say, top five favorite radios, the Lafayette Telsat SSB 140. And I'm kind of already into this radio. So this thing came to me. The customer asked to do a full service to it, but the issue was it had no power, it wasn't turning on. And wanted the clarifier unlocked, full service, fixed the no power issue, and he has this a static, was it 878? Yeah, 878 DM mic wired for this base unit. So this is a four pin, so we'll have to put another end on that. But first, I wanted to talk about the actual switch here. So when I did my diagnosing, I found out that the power switch was actually bad. And it's very rare for these switches to go bad. I've never had one go bad. This is the first one. But I figured I'd share maybe some info in case you guys have one of these. This is a Matsushita. Sorry, I'm out of frame here. This is a Matsushita, which is Panasonic power switch. So it does two things. It turns, you have an AC side and a DC side. So the AC side, turns the transformer on and off. And then the DC side, I forgot what side's what, actually, it gives power to the actual board, the chassis. So when I did my diagnosing, I found out that the AC side was switching, but the DC side had power coming in but no power coming out. So one of the contacts on the DC side was bad or corroded or something was going on. So I decided to take the switch apart, and it was one of the worst things that I could have done, because these things are damn near impossible to get back together. And you think you got everything together correctly, and then sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. I was having some issues. So fortunately I found a good switch. But you can open these up. You can just basically pry these tabs off, and then this whole thing pops off on the top. The problem is getting this all back together, and then there's a mechanism, because this is a push on, push off switch. It's one of these. So there's a mechanism in here that holds it either open or holds it closed, and that is damn near impossible to get back together. While you have spring tension on these little tabs here, these that actually make the contact for the switching, and trying to just keep everything together while trying to crimp these things back on, it's just super impossible. So, but after taking the switch apart, I realized that there is a way to possibly clean up these contacts without taking the switch apart. And, now that I know how the switch actually, the design of the switch, you can kind of see how it works. In retrospect, had I known how the switch worked, I would have drilled two holes, one there and one on the other side, about 1/8 of an inch, just enough to stick the nozzle of like a deoxit can in there. And then I would have sprayed some deoxit in there and worked the switch back and forth, even possibly some compressed air, in there after you spray it. And I'm sure that would have cured the problem. But the issue was I didn't know how the switch was made. But anyway, I found a replacement switch, but I figured I'd share that just in case you guys are running into the same, because this switch is used in several different radios. I know one of the Midland bases I have uses this actual same switch. So it's just some good info for you guys if you run into this issue and you want to fix the switch that you have. I think that would work. Like I said, drilling the holes on either side there, spraying a considerable amount of deoxit in there, working the switch back and forth, and then blowing it out with some compressed air. I think that would solve the issue. But anyway, putting that aside, I was able to find the same switch, an original Telsat switch. So we're going to be putting that in. It does work. But yeah, I like the look of this radio. Kind of reminds me of the old Pioneer receivers, the legendary Pioneer receivers with the all aluminum face and the aluminum knobs, and it's right around the same time too that you'd find that receiver. This radio was around as well. But in order to get to the switch, you have to take the front face off, and once you do that, the switch is over here. It's just 2 screws in the front, and then you can pop the switch off. And that's how you get to that switch. So I'm going to go ahead and desolder these wires, solder on, the wires that are on the radio. And we'll get this radio back on power, and then we can actually do our preliminary test on this. See what it's doing, see if it's on frequency, what it's doing for power, what it has for sensitivity, etc., etc. So, yeah, let me get this switch in, and then we'll see how the radio is doing before we do any of the work. All right, stand by, guys. All right, switch is in. So you got the AC side, and then you got the DC side here. And also, along with unlocking the clarifier, this thing has a channel mod done to it. You can see the switch back here. And so we're going to be undoing this. It's just not needed anymore. So we talked about removing the channel mod. So they cut the trace here, they added some resistors, and then put a switch in. So we're going to be repairing, undoing basically everything that has been done to this here. So, back in the day when you didn't have enough channels, this is something common that was done. But nowadays it's really not needed. So we both talked about it, and that channel mod's coming out. We're going to be bringing the radio back to stock, except for a clarifier unlock and some LEDs. So, but other than that, this radio is going back to its original condition. So let's get this back down, and obviously be careful. This is, I do have AC connected, so be careful there. A lot of people say it can kill you, probably under the right circumstances, but it's going to give you a nasty shock if you touch it. So just beware. But you can see it comes on now. So our power issue is fixed. And now what I'll do is, while I have this apart, I'm going to, while I got the front face apart, it's just easier getting at all these potentiometers right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put some deoxit in these and work them back and forth. And yeah, that's about it. And then I'll get the front face plate back on. And then we'll do our tests, see if she actually transmits and receives. And we'll take it from there. But let me get this deoxit done first. Stand by. All right, well, it's back together. And I have it hooked up to the watt meter. I have this old Lafayette mic that I had laying around. We're going to be using that because I still haven't wired up the mic that came with the radio. So we're going to see what she's doing for power. So I got it on AM, channel 19. And let's see what we got for a carrier. Yeah, like 3.8. Just shy of 4 watts carrier. And let's see what we got for PEP. Audio. Yeah, let me put it on the 1040 here. And on AM, she's hitting about like 12 watts peak, coming back down to like 10. I think we can do a little bit better than that with a recap and alignment. Let me go to the sidebands. Let's put this on. We'll go to upper sideband. That's only 4 watts. That is really low. Yeah, that's gotta be needing some work. Let's go to lower sideband. Yeah, same thing there. Sideband's gonna need some work. AM is it's probably right where it should be from the factory, but we can get it better than that. So yeah, this is going to need a little bit of work. All right, let me get this on the signal generator, and let's see what she's doing for sensitivity. All right, stand by. All right, she's hooked up to the signal generator. And I got an S9 signal going to the radio, and you can see that it is pretty spot on, S9. So that's good. Let's see what its sensitivity is actually at. So let me bring this back down to a lower level and get the external speaker plugged in, and we'll see what she's doing for sensitivity. Stand by. Alright, well, I got the SYN hooked up directly to the speaker because this doesn't have an external speaker jack. So I just have it right on the terminals of the speaker. And see what she's doing for sensitivity. So we're at minus 110, 11, 12, 13. Alright, it's not bad. Minus 113 dBm, 12 dB SYN. So, yeah, it's a little bit better than what's expected out of these radios, but yeah, I think this radio is going to be an excellent radio. So we'll do a full service to it, get it recapped, clean up some of the dust that's in there, and yeah, do a proper alignment to it, and change out these lights to LEDs. And yeah, that's about it. So that's it for this part. I'll end up doing a part 2 with the radio completely finished and the microphone wired to the radio and tuned to this radio. And that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you like this first look at this Lafayette Telsat SSB 140. Thanks for watching.